All right. Hi, good morning, everybody. We're live here this morning at Focus on Energy, bringing you some very exciting information about energy efficiency. I'm Lauren, and I'm on the marketing team here at Focus on Energy, and we're really excited this morning to have our program director, Erinn Monroe, on board with us to talk about our most recent evaluation results that were just released this week, actually yesterday. So you may have seen the report that we just posted out yesterday, right in here on our feed. So we wanted to post just a brief video chatting with Erinn a little bit more about what those results mean. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below, or if you're on a desktop, that'll be to your right. And we'll be sure to answer after this broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us today, Erinn.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So some people in the audience may have ordered a free pack with us, or may have done bigger projects at their home or their business. But they might not know some of the other ways that Focus on Energy impacts Wisconsin. What are the ways that we get evaluated as a program?
Yeah, so there's two sort of flavors, if you will, of evaluation. So one is process. And what process really looks at is how are we operating? So how are people hearing about the program? What's their participation process like? What kind of improvements can we make to make that customer experience better, or our tracking and our reporting, just sort of like operational things that we can do to improve. And that's really important. The other type of evaluation is what's called an impact evaluation. And what they're trying to do with an impact evaluation is actually measure how much impact we're having on people's energy usage. And there's a lot of ways that they do that. An evaluator may call and do a survey and ask people how influential the program was in helping them get that project done. They might do site visits. So sometimes they'll go and they'll actually count fixtures or equipment, or they'll look at the nameplate of the equipment and they'll check the efficiency. In some cases, it's really sophisticated. They'll actually go and put metering equipment on the different efficiency measures that were installed and say, okay, well, we see this is how much energy is being used, and they try to make estimates about how much energy is being saved. So what they really want to get at, what we really want to know is the program causing more efficiency than what would happen if the program didn't exist, right? Mm-hmm. So that can be a little tricky to do because you're trying to measure something that didn't happen and compare it with what did happen. And we know that there is a certain amount of what we call naturally occurring efficiency in the market. And that is like when your air conditioner breaks and you have to get a new one, and you can't get the same model you had 25 years ago because air conditioning has improved quite a bit. So there is always this sort of naturally occurring energy efficiency that's always sort of happening in the world. And what we really want to be doing is pushing beyond that naturally occurring energy efficiency. And we really want to be getting people to do things sooner than they would have. So replacing older equipment with newer models, with more efficient models, maybe sooner than they normally would, or doing a project that they wouldn't do at all, making a different choice when they're deciding to replace a piece of equipment. And so the impact evaluation is really trying to measure how much we're actually affecting the market for energy efficiency and products and services. So.
Super cool. Thank you. So how often do we get evaluated like this?
So we get evaluated annually. So every year that there is a report that comes out, and sometimes they're a little bit different. They might look at certain programs a little bit more than others. But it is done every year, and they are collecting information. Our evaluators collecting information constantly. If you participate, you might have gotten a customer satisfaction survey. That's part of the evaluation. And they do site visits. They do them in waves sort of throughout the year. And so they're collecting data constantly. And then they produce these reports, the kind of main evaluation reports. They produce them every year.
Very cool. Yeah, I know customer satisfaction was one of the ones that just came out in that report, where we're at like 9.3 out of 10 right now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is this evaluation important?
Well, evaluation really, I mean, we're spending ratepayer dollars. This is very important, first of all, that we be really good fiduciaries and stewards of those ratepayer dollars. And so we want to make sure that what we're doing is having the intended impacts. And so measuring that impact is very, very important to us. And we also want to know what we can be doing better. Like, how can we be improving these programs? How can we be serving more customers? Underserved, what are our underserved segments? How can we be reaching those customers? And so it really provides us with a lot of information about what we can be doing to improve these programs and make sure that we're providing as much benefit as we can to ratepayers here.
Very cool. So it's definitely more than just free packs.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's so much more, and it's really interesting. Wisconsin is a pretty diverse state, and so we've got a lot of residential customers. They might get a free pack or recycle an old refrigerator, and then we have gigantic paper mills, right? And so their operations look quite a bit different. And so we do a lot of great, provide a lot of technical support to, those larger customers. The energy advisors are working with them to identify opportunities. They're running data analysis, really complex sort of regression analyses and these very cool kind of data models. And they're doing a lot of that type of work for those customers. We have restaurants. It's just a very, very diverse state of heavy manufacturing. We have vacation homes. They're different than regular homes. And so we have to work really hard to make sure that we're covering as many different customer needs as we can in this very diverse economy that we have here.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. So what does it mean? We just actually posted something earlier this morning on Facebook here. But one of the results of the report is that we say that the program generates $4.80 for every dollar invested. What does that mean for us? And then how and where do we see that return?
Yeah. So that is basically a cost benefit ratio and an economic impact measurement. So there's a lot that goes into it. So on the costs, so you have costs and you have benefits. And on the cost side, it's what does it take to run these programs? What does it cost for marketing and for a website and for energy advisors and employees? And so what does it cost? Even the evaluation, what does it cost to run the programs? And then on the benefit side, we look at the avoided costs of the energy. And so what's really interesting, Wisconsin is an importer of energy. We don't have coal mines. We don't have natural gas here in the state. With the exception of renewable energy, we are importing fuel. And so if we can keep those funds here circulating locally, we can have a really big impact on our local economy. And this is by sort of inducing or creating demand or boosting demand of energy efficient products. We support suppliers that are providing those services and products to customers. So if it's retailers or contractors that are working with customers to install more energy efficient equipment, we're trying to help kind of juice that demand so that they have a lot more business. And so that has a really beneficial impact in the economy. And another impact in the economy is that people save energy on their bills. And if it's a business, it can be substantial, especially, enough to justify an employee's salary. So in some cases, these can have huge economic benefits. But also on the residential side, it's enough money that you might, go to a movie or something like that. And that money circulates locally, and there's a multiplier effect. So when you're circulating a dollar locally, it actually has a bigger impact. So that's what that number sort of means. It's those are all of the benefits. There's the avoided cost benefit and the employment benefits, and then the saving money and spending it in your local economy, and that all adds up. So when we look at what does it cost to run this program and what are the benefits, we see that the benefits are almost 5 times greater than the cost to run the program. So then we're doing a pretty good job being good stewards of ratepayer dollars.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much for breaking that down. Where else can we learn some more information about this and the recent evaluation results?
Yeah, all of our evaluations, they're all public and they are available on the Focus on Energy website. You just kind of scroll down to the bottom. There's an evaluation section, and we've got evaluation reports that go back years and years. So you can go back and look at how things have changed. Usually there's a good executive summary because the reports can be pretty thick. They can be several hundred pages, but there's always a good executive summary that you can kind of get the highlights and really understand what they found in their evaluation.
Great, thank you so much. And I will say in the comment section of this video, we'll be posting the link to our press release that talks about these results. So that's going to be at focusenergy.com/evaluation results. We'll leave that here in the comments. And that is all we have time for here today. Thank you so much for joining us for today's live video, and thank you to Erinn for joining us today as well. As always, we're always happy to answer any questions you may have left in the comments here after the broadcast. And that is all we have. Thank you so much, and take care.
Thank you, Lauren. Bye-bye.